Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Right now at 8 o'clock on Fox 50, breaking news. You were looking at Sky 5 as Durham police are investigating along South Alston Avenue. We are taking you live there as our reporter on scene works to learn what officers are searching for.
Also coming up, train stopped on the tracks. What investigators are telling us about their investigation in Johnston County.
And one more really warm day in the mid-80s before this front comes in and brings us both rain and some cooler temperatures. I'll show you what to expect.
Lots to get to here in the 8 o'clock hour. As always, we appreciate your time here at Fox 50. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Yeah, a lot of news to get to. But first, we have to talk about this beautiful view. White Lake behind us. Really, really nice start. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner with another beautiful view over downtown Raleigh. A lot of that fog has lifted, Elizabeth.
It has. We had some foggy conditions north and east of the triangle, but that is dissipating quickly as that sun continues to come on up. And it's pretty here in downtown Raleigh. It feels comfortable, too. 65 degrees. We're going to see much cooler mornings and cooler afternoons in the next couple of days as our cold front comes through. We still have some fog in Lewisburg. It's beginning to lift a little bit compared to what we saw just an hour ago. So again, it won't be too long before all that fog scatters out. We are still seeing quarter-mile visibility at Rocky Mount and Wilson. And then again, of course, several parts of Franklin County. So you might run into it in a few places, but it's not having a big impact on our travel, at least in the triangle. Temperatures are in the mid-60s right now in the triangle, but upper 50s for Rocky Mount and Goldsboro and up around Roxborough. A very warm afternoon, well above normal at 85 degrees. Our cold front that comes through will help to drop our temperatures starting tomorrow. And for the rest of the week, 70% chance of rain and thunderstorms will walk through the timeline. Coming up, Ken?
Elizabeth, at 8:01, we have a crash on the northern loop of the Beltline, really adding to the morning congestion that we see this time of the morning. This crash is right near Capitol Boulevard exit, and here's what it looked like, courtesy of our live cam network. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic, and Raleigh police crews are there in the median working that crash scene, likely in the clearing phase, and you can add some onlooker delay as well. So that northern loop of the Beltline, if that's part of your morning commute this morning, you're looking at a 13-minute delay from the 87-440 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out, because many of you might want to opt for the southern loop of the Beltline around Lake Wheeler Road, Gorman Street, that type of thing. You're looking at a 7-minute delay. Of course, if you're coming in from Garner or Johnston County between Highway 36 and the Beltline, no delays whatsoever. Here's what you're looking at. If you're coming in from Durham this morning, you're seeing a little bit of congestion building around the I-885, I-40 interchange. You're looking at a 9-minute delay. 10 minutes if you're coming in from Nightdale, from Wake Forest this morning, just a 7-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest, Nightdale this morning. Over in Durham, we're seeing a little bit of delay on I-40 eastbound, about an 11-minute delay. But other than that, all the other major routes are delay-free, except for 885, we're seeing that usual congestion building starting around TW Alexander Drive. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, thank you, Ken. We are following breaking news right now. There are a significant number of Durham police officers in a parking lot on South Alston Avenue in Durham. This is a look from Sky 5. And WRAL's Ali Calabar is live there right now as well. Ali, you got there about 15 minutes ago. What are you seeing and what do we know right now?
Well, we can see that police are in very early stages of this investigation process as we've seen them kind of search the ground, inspect the area, looking at some of these cars in the parking lot as well as some of the parts of the ground. Now, we also see that all of the crime scene tape, how it's just patched up around this food truck. We've seen a lot of activity by that food truck in the distance. They're also giving you a look from above where we see the officers are talking to each other. We've seen officers go inside some of these businesses, possibly speaking to witnesses. So again, very early stages in this investigation process. They're still trying to figure out and piece what happened here. We're working to learn if anybody got hurt, what led up to this incident and what was involved. We're really watching here to see just what is happening and what happened that led up to this police presence. We're going to keep you updated. Michelle, reporting live in Durham, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
And we have new information on breaking news in Selma. A person was hit by a train and killed. That train is now stopped on the tracks. Sky 5 flew over it a little more than an hour ago. Investigators are still there on scene to determine exactly how this happened. Selma police have not released the person's name at this hour. And right now, firefighters are investigating what caused this home to catch fire in southeast Raleigh. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker of a house fire on Evers Drive. You can see siding on the house melted. There was damage to the roof. Raleigh Fire tells us nobody was hurt, but 3 people will have to find a new place to live.
Happening today, Wake school leaders are set to hear another proposal from Amazon on how AI can be used in the classroom. We told you about the first meeting between school leaders and the company reps. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live from the Wake County School Headquarters in Cary with what we can expect from today's meeting. Kelsey.
Yes, Ken, AI is developing at lightning speed. So today, Wake school leaders will talk about how this could benefit your child in the classroom. Today, Wake school leaders will be meeting here at the board headquarters to brainstorm a new AI policy. Now, this is the second time that school leaders have met with Amazon about AI. A company representative is coming back to share how AI can help schools work more efficiently. Wake County Schools already encourages the use of AI. There's just not an official policy on it yet. A few parameters exist, like students are encouraged to use Google Gemini over ChatGPT. The district has a data privacy agreement with Google. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst explains how other school districts are handling AI.
A lot of other school districts in our area have AI policies. They're usually a couple of paragraphs encouraging the use of AI and explaining an expectation for students. So students should be literate in AI. They should know how to use it. They should know AI's limits.
You can follow today's coverage of the Wake Schools meeting on our website, WRAL.com. Just click on the education section. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
And we want to remind you, earlier this month, WRAL's Lena Tillett went into 2 Wake County schools to see how some teachers are already using AI in their classrooms. They were navigating how to use the tech safely and how to make sure AI is not replacing learning. You can find that story on WRAL.com.
Lawmakers still cannot agree on a funding bill as we near 1 week of a government shutdown. The Senate failed to pass both the GOP and Democrat funding bills last night. This is the 5th time the Senate has rejected both measures. Democrats are largely united in wanting to keep certain health care subsidies from expiring. They appear to be winning over 1 or 2 other lawmakers on that issue. And most Republicans are pushing for a relatively clean stopgap measure.
Well, also, Michelle, the real-world impacts of the shutdown are growing. The FAA says it's been delaying flights due to air traffic controllers shortages. The Transportation Secretary says many controllers are calling out sick since they're no longer getting paid. An FAA operations plan says at least a dozen air traffic control facilities braced for shortages last night. Officials say the Burbank, California tower outright closed, forcing pilots to coordinate with each other.
The very same thing ended the 35-day government shutdown back in 2019, and controllers calling out sick led to ground stops and delays at some of the country's busiest airports. And when that happened, lawmakers reached a deal pretty quickly.
President Trump gave apparently seemingly contradictory statements, saying talks with Democrats about making a health care deal were taking place. Democratic congressional leaders say they had not heard of no such talks, but would welcome them. Trump then posted on social media he would not negotiate with Democrats until the government reopened.
New this morning, brand new video shows the moment a medical helicopter fell from the sky and crashed right onto a Sacramento highway. Take a look at this. You can see the tail of that chopper start to turn. Then moments later, it hits the pavement before it starts smoking. This is a look at the aftermath. 3 people who were on board that helicopter, a pilot, a nurse, and a paramedic, are all in critical condition this morning. The Sacramento Fire Department says witnesses helped one of the injured from that wreckage. It is not clear what caused that chopper to crash. The NTSB and the FAA are investigating.
Tension is growing as hundreds of federal troops prepare to enter Chicago. Right now, Illinois' Democratic leaders are suing, trying to stop more troops from entering that city. Federal prosecutors have charged an alleged gang member with soliciting murder of an unarmed, unnamed senior law enforcement official taking part in immigration enforcement there. Authorities are also searching for the driver of a black SUV accused of repeatedly ramming into ICE agents in a truck. So far, a federal judge has blocked President Trump's efforts to send more troops into Oregon. The president says he's considering invoking the Insurrection Act.
Tonight, law enforcement and a mother in Durham are holding National Night Out events. This comes as there is an ongoing concern about gun violence in that area. Lashana Lyons says it was an unsettling reality when she had to call Durham police to investigate her son's bedroom. Lyons told us on July 3rd she thought she heard fireworks outside until the next morning she found a bullet hole in her son's ceiling. Her goal now is to prevent careless gunfire from happening again.
It shook me for a moment. But, I just feel like I believe that nothing happens for no reason. So I'm just going to take this and say, okay, this is the time for me to use my voice so this doesn't happen to others.
Life over careless gunfire. That event is from 6 to 8 tonight at the Longmeadow Park baseball fields.
Well, the city of Durham's primary elections are today. The offices of mayor and 3 city council members are on the ballot. In each race, the incumbent in the seat is running for re-election. 2 candidates for mayor will move on to the general election in November. 6 candidates for the 3 city council seats will move on as well. The polls open at 6:30 this morning and will run until 7 this evening. Fayetteville is also holding municipal elections. Find out if your city has elections today and learn about the candidates on WRAL.com.
Looking ahead, no word yet on who will replace Cane's president, Doug Wharf. Team owner Tom Dundon announced Wharf resigned yesterday. Wharf rejoined Hurricanes Holdings LLC in July of last year after working for the team from 2000 to 2017. Dundon wished Wharf well in the next chapter of his life. Well, new charges against former NFL quarterback and Fox Sports analyst Mark Sanchez. Indianapolis police now adding a felony count, accusing him of assaulting a 69-year-old delivery driver while intoxicated. New video obtained by the New York Post shows Sanchez bloody and appearing to stumble in the moments after that fight early Saturday morning. Prosecutors say both men were hurt in the fight over a parking space and hospitalized. Sanchez has not entered a plea. He faces up to 6 years in prison if convicted.
Lots more to share with you in this 8 o'clock hour. Still to come, $1.5 million. That's the bond for Durham 18-year-old accused of street racing, then crashing and killing a man in another car. We're speaking with the victim's family.
Plus, stopping the sickness. The recommendations from the CDC to keep you healthy through the holidays.
And a little bit of patchy fog out here on the patio. It's all beautiful. But Lewisburg starting to see some of that fog lifting right now. I'll show you what to expect when you head out the door and why it's going to be so warm this afternoon. 8:15 with some pretty weather on the patio, and it's time for your tropical update. There is now a 90% chance that the wave coming off the coast of Africa will become a tropical depression or possibly even a tropical storm in the next day or so, possibly even later on this afternoon. And then down in the Bay of Campeche, which is in the southern Gulf, 10% chance that that could develop. Of course, that is down along the coast of Mexico. We're not likely to have any local impacts or really any impacts in the U.S. at all with that wave coming off the coast of Africa. You can see which direction it's headed toward the Caribbean, but we take a look at the computer model plots right now. It goes to the west and then takes a northerly turn and then a northeasterly turn, even away from Bermuda, which is good news. So at this point, it doesn't look like much of a threat. The next thing that I'm watching is a cold front that'll come in tomorrow. It'll bring us a decent chance for rain and then some much cooler temperatures. I'll show you coming up.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, real trouble spot that northern loop of the Beltline. Raleigh police working a crash right now. You can see near Capitol Boulevard exit. You can see the inner lane right near the median is closed and traffic is trying to get through, causing quite a bit of delay, including onlooker delay in that area. Right now, you're looking at an 11-minute delay from the I-87 440 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue. So keep that in mind. You might want to consider the southern loop of the Beltline. That's a little less congested. Elsewhere, we got a 12-minute delay if you're coming in from Durham, 9 minutes if you're coming in from Wake Forest, and just a 3-minute delay if you're coming in from Nightdale on I-87.
All right, thank you, Ken. The CDC released new guidance that could make it more difficult for you or your child to get your COVID-19 booster shot. They now recommend COVID shots for people 65 and older. That's only after these folks consult with a doctor or a pharmacist. Walgreens says it will continue to offer the COVID vaccine for anyone starting at age 3. CVS says its pharmacies are ready to give the shot to children as young as 5 years old.
If an 18-year-old charged in a deadly street racing crash in Durham wants to get out of jail on bond, he'll have to pay a big fee. A judge increased Kevin Ruiz Gomez's bond to $1.5 million after hearing from the victim's family. Ruiz Gomez was in court yesterday for the first time since that crash happened. He's accused of running a red light, hitting Jamal Parker's car, killing him, and seriously injuring a woman in his car. Ruiz Gomez is expected to be in court again later this month.
So I want y'all to reconsider or think about it bond, because now I have to raise 2 young boys and who don't understand.
Well, Parker's aunt, Elizabeth Reeves, says he is a hero to his children. His family is now trying to raise money for his funeral.
The North Carolina State Fair is 9 days away. Sky 5 flew over the fairgrounds yesterday to see the progress. You can see all the fair flyer is already up. That state fair runs from October 16th to October 26th. And of course, WRAL is a proud media sponsor. We will all be there. Well, the U.S. recorded its first EF5 tornado in 12 years, but it takes a lot more work to get that rating. Meteorologist Chris Michaels explains the steps taken over the last 4 months. Chris, in today's Ask the Meteorologist.
So this happened in North Dakota back in June. It was rated an EF5, and we just learned that yesterday from the National Weather Service there in Grand Forks. With wind speeds at least 210 miles per hour, it has to be at least 200 miles per hour in order to be an EF5 with that EF or enhanced Fujita scale. What the National Weather Service does is they go out to survey storm damage, and then they come up with that rating. So there could be plenty of violent tornadoes that happen that never damage anything, that never get that rating. But this one was the first rated tornado at EF5 in about 12 years. So what they do is they look at multiple damage indicators. So what's being damaged, what's the structural integrity of it, and what's the degree of the damage? Well, what they found is this long line of train cars, one of which was empty, that got flung nearly 500 feet by the tornado. Another thing that they found was analysis of trees and how it was basically sandpapered. So they called in other experts, wind damage experts, people in the research field, and also engineers to come up with that EF5 rating nearly 4 months later.
That is pretty incredible. All right, thanks so much, Chris. All right, let's get outside to meteorologist Elizabeth Garner out on the WRAL weather patio. We did see some fog earlier, still a little bit of that fog in Lewisburg, Elizabeth.
Yeah, this sun is going to take care of any remaining fog really quickly now that it's come up over the horizon. I would give it maybe another 30 minutes and we should be really noticing a lot of clearing there in Lewisburg. And the visibility has improved significantly just in the last 20 minutes or so. Still showing quarter-mile visibility in Rocky Mount, and that's what we consider fog. You might run into some of that in Franklin County as well. Here's our next weather maker. Look at all that rain out ahead of this front, way out ahead of the front, and then some behind it as well. That's the cold front that rolls through here tomorrow and brings us a chance of rain, but not until around lunchtime. Futurecast for today shows a flow coming out of the southeast. We'll see clouds on and off for today, and Futurecast wants to show a tiny sprinkle in our southern counties. Our chance of that is minimal, and then maybe even a little round of rain overnight tonight closer to midnight. But it's not likely to be wet tomorrow morning. There's 7 a.m., so the morning commute looks nice and dry. Finally, between, say, 10 and noon, we begin to see a few showers or thunderstorms popping up. We'll pause it again around 6 o'clock. Just a little lingering shower there. So, I'm going to say between lunchtime and the evening commute. After that, most of that zips right on out of here to the east, and that's going to be it for a while. Skies will begin to clear after that. So rain totals, not very impressive. Most likely around 1/4 inch, and then on Thursday behind the front, it'll be breezy. Winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour, and our temperature is taking a big dive. So if you're headed to the Canes home opener on Thursday, tailgating temperatures will be in the mid to upper 60s, and when you get out of the game, mid 50s. So it'll feel like hockey. You want to take along a jacket. Heads up on Saturday and Sunday. There's likely to be a coastal low that develops. Some of the models want to bring the rain inland. Others want to keep it along the coast. So we'll have our eye on that. We went ahead and added some rain to the forecast for both Saturday and Sunday. So we'll have more updates as it gets closer.
Happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, that northern loop of the Beltline we're keeping an eye on because a crash adding to the usual morning congestion that we see there. It's close to Capitol Boulevard. This is what it looks like on a live traffic camera this morning. It's really in the clearing phase and really just cleared up within the last 30 seconds, but we're still seeing some lingering delays in that particular area. So this is part of your morning commute. You're looking at a 15-minute delay between the I-440 and I-87 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue. But again, that crash is cleared. Pretty much getting into that flow of traffic. It's going to ease up a little bit. That southern loop of the Beltline, you might want to consider that southern loop of the Beltline because you're only looking at a 4-minute delay depending on where you're headed. Elsewhere, coming into the capital city, we have a crash on I-85, or I-40, I should say, right near the Aviation Parkway exit. That's why it's causing a 13-minute delay. You're looking at a 10-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning. If you're coming in from Nightdale, you're looking at a 6-minute delay. Coming up next, more look at news, weather, and traffic after the break.
All right, thank you, Ken. And AI in the classroom. Wake County school leaders meet today to learn more about how it could be used. Coming up next, the decision the board has already made and what's still to be determined.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning. Time now is 8:26 on your Tuesday. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Meteorologist Elizabeth Garner is out on the WRAL weather patio for us this morning. A beautiful day ahead, Elizabeth.
So nice. It's really comfortable out here this morning with all this sunshine. It's 59 in Wilson, where we had some fog earlier, and it's pretty much dissipated. 65 in Durham, 62 in Fayetteville. After school practices are going to be warm. Right after school lets out, temperatures are going to be in the mid-80s. And then during the evening, around 5 or 6, we'll drop it into the upper 70s to around 80. Looking at partly cloudy skies for today, but a good chance for rain tomorrow.
All right, Elizabeth, we had a crash on the northern loop of the Beltline that cleared up just in the last 2 minutes or so, but we're still seeing some lingering delays in that area. You can see the bumper-to-bumper traffic here at I-440 and New Bern Avenue. Here's what it's looking like. You're looking at a 12-minute delay from the I-440, 87 interchange over to Wade Avenue, so keep that in mind if that is part of your morning commute. You might want to consider the southern loop of the Beltline, just looking at an 8-minute delay on that southern loop of the Beltline. No delays if you're coming in from Gardner, Johnston County between Highway 36 and the Beltline.
Thanks, Ken. We are staying on top of breaking news right now in Durham. Police there have a parking lot blocked off with crime scene tape. This is a live look from the scene on South Alston Street. WRAL's Ali Calabar is there working to learn what police are investigating. She'll join us for a live report over on Fox 50. And an update on breaking news in Selma. A person was hit by a train and killed. That train is now stopped on the tracks. Sky 5 flew over it a little more than an hour ago. Investigators are still on scene to determine exactly how this happened. Selma police have not released the person's name at this hour. Next on Fox 50, 5 on Your Side shares the wave of holiday deals happening this week. And next on Today, Craig Melvin sits down with Saquon Barkley.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And that breaking news right now on Fox 50, looking live at the scene on South Alston Street in Durham. Police have a parking lot blocked off with crime scene tape. What we're learning from the investigators in the live report coming up.
And it feels nice out. It's going to be a very warm afternoon, probably the warmest that we'll see for quite some time. A cold front comes in and brings us some rain and cooler temperatures starting tomorrow.
And AI in the classrooms. Wake County leaders are set to meet today. The new ideas on how artificial intelligence could shape learning.
National Night Out, how law enforcement in Durham hope an event tonight will help stop careless gunfire. All that and more coming up in this half hour. Thanks for being with us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. A pretty nice start to the day. We did have a little bit of fog earlier, but that is lifting. The sunshine is out. Meteorologist Elizabeth Garner is out on the WRAL weather patio to tell us what we can expect.
Oh, it's so pretty out here right now. It's going to be a very warm afternoon. So if you're one of those people that love the warm temperatures, get out and enjoy it while you can, because because we have big changes coming starting tomorrow and definitely by Thursday and Friday. A live look at downtown Raleigh, beautiful blue sky, 65 degrees, and the dew point 63. If it was 53, it would feel really refreshing. 63 is not terrible, but there's a little bit of moisture in the atmosphere, and that's why we ended up with some fog this morning. We saw some of that in Franklin County at Lewisburg, as well as over around Rocky Mount and Wilson this morning, and some of the northeastern counties. Still looking at quarter-mile visibility around Rocky Mount, but not looking at any real problems around the Triangle. Temperatures heading out the door in the Triangle in the mid-60s, 62 in Fayetteville, 63 in South Hill, and the temperatures will warm up fast today. Lunchtime, 79 and into the mid-80s later on this afternoon. Our next weather maker is a cold front that comes in tomorrow. It'll bring us a good chance for rain. I'll time it out for you coming up in just a bit.
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL traffic center, that northern loop of the Beltline continues to be a real problem this morning. You can see the congestion building as a result of a crash that cleared in the last maybe 15 minutes or so, but we're still seeing those lingering delays on that northern loop of the Beltline. So you're looking at a 13-minute delay from the I-440-87 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue. So keep that in mind. Depending on where you're headed this morning, if you're heading to Durham, you might want to take the southern loop of the Beltline. You're only looking at an 8-minute delay. We're talking about southern loop, Rock Quarry Road, Lake Wheeler Road, Gorman Street, that type of thing. So be mindful of that. You're coming in from Gardner or Johnston County. No delays between Highway 36 and the Beltline. Really and truly, we're seeing a crash on I-40 eastbound right near Aviation Parkway. That's why you're looking at a 13-minute delay coming in on I-40 east. You're looking at a 9-minute delay. If you're coming in from Wake Forest, we're seeing a little bit of a jam up around Highway 55 and US 1. 9 minutes for our friends in Wake Forest and just 5 minutes if you're coming in from Nightdale this morning on I-87. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
All right, Ken, thank you. Following that breaking news out of Durham, right now there's a significant number of Durham police officers in a parking lot on South Alston Street. WRAL's Ali Calabar is live at that scene right now. Ali, you've been there almost an hour. What are you learning from police?
Well, just within the past 5 minutes, we've spoken with an officer here on the scene that tells us that a woman was shot here. And I want to point you to the food truck van, and you can see there's a bullet hole in the windshield. Of course, we're not sure if this is related to this shooting that just happened. We did see an officer just put on gloves and head into the food truck there. We do see that the crime scene tape is set up all around this food truck and the truck by it. And so we've just seen officers inspecting the ground, looking throughout this area, searching for any clues or evidence that led up to this shooting here. Of course, this is very early stages of this investigation. You can see that officer looking and inspecting the food truck there. Again, a woman was shot here. This is South Alston Avenue near Linwood Avenue. We are staying on top of this and keeping you updated right here. Reporting live in Durham, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
We're also following some breaking news in Johnston County. We're working to learn what led to a train being stopped on the tracks in Selma. Sky 5 flew over the scene near South Pollock Street. You can see police cruisers, EMS, and crime scene tape. 911 dispatchers telling WRAL they received calls that the train struck a person. Selma police are investigating. And of course, as we get any new information, we'll share it with you.
Today, Wake County school leaders will meet to discuss the AI policy in your child's school. They're getting closer to solidifying ways to regulate students' use. And as WRAL's Kelsey Coffey explains, this is the second time Amazon will be presenting.
AI is developing at lightning speed, and today Wake school leaders will meet about how it could benefit your child in the classroom. Today, Wake school leaders will be meeting here at the school board headquarters to brainstorm a new AI policy. This is the second time school leaders will meet with Amazon about AI. A company representative is coming back to share how AI can help schools work more efficiently. Wake County Schools already encourages the use of AI. There's just not an official policy on it yet. But a few parameters exist, like students are encouraged to use Google Gemini over ChatGPT. The district has a data privacy agreement with Google. WRAL Education Insider Emily Walkenhorst explains how other school districts are handling AI.
A lot of other school districts in our area have AI policies. They're usually a couple of paragraphs encouraging the use of AI and explaining an expectation for students. So students should be literate in AI. They should know how to use it. They should know AI's limits.
You can follow our coverage of today's Wake Schools meeting on our website, WRAL.com. Just click on the education section. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News in Cary.
Earlier this month, WRAL's Lena Tillett went into two Wake County schools to see how some teachers are already using AI in their classrooms. They were navigating how to use the tech safely and how to make sure AI is not replacing learning. You can find that story on WRAL.com.
As President Trump is sending federal troops to Chicago, leaders in Illinois are suing him. Democratic Party leaders say this move is not only unnecessary, it's dangerous. There's also new video showing a black SUV ramming into ICE agents on a highway. Authorities are offering a $50,000 reward for information on the identification of that driver. Prosecutors charge someone they say is a gang member, part of a murder for hire plot to kill a top immigration officer. President Trump says he'd use the Insurrection Act if needed as the battle and protests continue to grow.
3 people are in critical condition after a medical helicopter crashed on a California highway. This happened just after 7 o'clock last night. Authorities say the 3 people injured in the crash were all on board the helicopter. There was no patients on board, but there was a pilot, a nurse, and a paramedic on board. Officials say the good news is the helicopter did not catch fire. A jet fuel blaze on a freeway with no hydrants would have been intense and very hard to control.
Tonight, law enforcement and a mother in Durham are holding national night out events. This comes as there is an ongoing concern about gun violence in the area. LaShayna Lyons says it's an unsettling reality when she had to call Durham police to investigate her son's bedroom. Lyons told us on July 3rd she thought she heard fireworks outside until the next morning. She found a bullet hole in her son's ceiling. Her goal now, preventing careless gunfire from happening again.
It shook me for a moment. But, I just feel like I believe that nothing happens for no reason. So I'm just going to take this and say, okay, this is the time for me to use my voice so this doesn't happen to others.
The Life Over Careless Gunfire event is from 6 this evening until 8 tonight at the Longmeadow Park baseball fields.
Well, some residents are fighting back against the upcoming Airport Boulevard expansion project in Morrisville. It's scheduled to begin in February and will expand the street and widen it by 2 lanes. Some people signed an online petition to stop the project. They worry about the risk to children, families, and wildlife. The project is scheduled to be completed by 2028. You can learn more about the project and the efforts to stop it on our website, WRAL.com. New charges against former NFL quarterback and Fox Sports analyst Mark Sanchez. Indianapolis police now adding a felony count accusing him of assaulting a 69-year-old delivery driver while intoxicated. New video obtained by the New York Post shows Sanchez bloody and appearing to stumble in the moments after that fight early Saturday morning. Prosecutors say both men were hurt in the fight and hospitalized. Sanchez has not entered a plea. He faces up to 6 years in prison if convicted.
Investigators say there's no sign the fire that destroyed the home of a South Carolina judge was set on purpose. The fire at Judge Zion Goodstein's home happened Saturday night. 3 people escaped by jumping from a window. 1 person was flown to a hospital there in South Carolina. Judge Goodstein recently made a ruling that blocked South Carolina from sharing voter data with the Justice Department. Firefighters are teaming up today for a live burn demonstration. They want to show you how quickly lithium-ion batteries can catch fire if damaged or overheated. It's part of Fire Prevention Week. The theme is Charge into Fire Safely. The event starts at 10 o'clock this morning at Wilson Fire and Rescue Services on Pine Street in Wilson.
Happening today, the Public Health Department in Durham is spraying several areas for mosquitoes after confirmation of West Nile virus in the area. The Trinity Park neighborhood, Stadium Heights, Colonial Village, Duke Park, and Old North Durham will be sprayed. Old West Durham, Watts Hospital, and Hillendale areas will also be targeted. If you see crews spraying that area, just try to stay indoors.
Big changes coming. President Trump announcing new tariffs that could shake up the trucking industry, how it could strain ties with key U.S. trade partners.
And October brings pumpkins, costumes, and early holiday deals. 5 on your sides, Keely Arthur shows you where to find the biggest savings this week.
Heading to break, we want to give you a live look at Chapel Hill this morning. A beautiful Carolina blue skies hanging over Chapel Hill. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tells us about the chance for midweek much-needed rain.
It's 8:44 and it's a beautiful start this morning. We take a live look at Apex. Gorgeous blue sky, seeing the same thing right here on the patio this morning. It's very comfortable. Our temperatures are mostly in the low to mid 60s, 65 in Durham, 62 Fayetteville, 61 in Rocky Mount. Still a little bit of lingering fog there around Rocky Mount and Wilson, but it is dissipating quickly. It's going to be a great day to eat your lunch outside or go for a walk, just spend it outside. Temperature close to 80 degrees and partly cloudy skies. Pretty this afternoon, but it's going to be warm, a couple degrees warmer than yesterday, with highs in the mid 80s. We'll see some increasing clouds. And of course, tomorrow we have a good chance for rain. It's not going to be a washout all day. I'll show you the timeline coming up.
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we've got a crash on the shoulder of the road, actually causing quite a bit of delays near the Aviation Parkway exit right now. You're seeing a lot of backup stretching almost all the way back to I-885, I-40 interchange. Right now, you're looking at a 7-minute delay if you're coming in from Durham, an 8-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest this morning. Things have definitely gotten a lot better. On Highway 87, you're looking at just a 2-minute delay. As far as routes heading into Durham this morning, really and truly the only troubled spot is our friends in Wake Forest. If you're using Highway 98 to come into Durham this morning, you're looking at a 12-minute delay. And there's a crash right there on Highway 98 causing some delays as well. So keep that in mind as you're about to head out the door.
All right, thank you, Ken. The city of Raleigh is working on how you'll get around using expanded bus rapid transit routes. Planners held an open house last night at the 5 Point Center on Noble Road. They're working on the downtown to midtown route. It'll connect downtown Raleigh with Wake Med and New Hope Road. Many people were excited about this new project.
It's important because having express bus service would actually enable people to get many places quicker.
And construction on the first phase is now underway. When the BRT line is finished, New Bern Avenue will have 10 stations and more than 3 miles of bus-only lanes.
Tomorrow, Dare County will begin cleaning up debris after 9 homes collapsed into the ocean along the Outer Banks. It will continue throughout the rest of the week if needed. Crews are trying to speed up the cleanup process before this weekend's weather moves in. Well, Wake County Commissioners approved buying property on New Birch Drive to build a new library. It will replace the Southgate branch. The nearly $7 million project will be funded by the 2024 library bond. It will feature more space, technology, and programs. Construction will begin in 2 years. It's expected to be completed in 2028. President Trump says new tariffs are on the way. He announced plans to levy a 25% tariff on all foreign-made medium and heavy-duty trucks. It is slated to start November 1st. The move could impact relations between Mexico, Canada, Japan, Germany, and Finland, the 5 countries from which the U.S. imports most trucks of that size. More than 70% of all domestic freight is moved by trucking.
Another tariff could hit Americans in the kitchen. Imports of Italian pasta will now face an extra 91% tax. That's on top of the 15% tariff on all Italian goods, more than doubling the price. European leaders are pushing back, calling this a needless escalation. Last year, the U.S. imported more than $800 million worth of pasta from Italy. Well, it's October and the gift-giving holidays are right around the corner. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur has a look at some of the best deals you can take advantage of this week.
Can you believe it? October is the unofficial start to the holiday shopping season. Between Amazon's Prime Days this week and other major retailers following suit, now is your chance to save some money. You may know Dyson for their vacuums, but the company is also in the headphone business. Their on-track noise-canceling headphones are now half off on the company's website. Consumer Reports says they deliver superb sound and top-notch noise canceling. And if you're planning to take advantage of some Amazon Prime Day deals, this Instant Pot air fryer is nearly half off for Prime members. Consumer Reports ranks this one high, saying it's easy to use, quiet, and easy to clean. Another Amazon Prime Day deal, the Edifier Bluetooth speakers. CR says their standout sound quality makes them a bargain even at full price. Or if you need a new coffee maker, this 10-cup grind and brew coffee maker is marked down at Macy's Macy's. And if you're concerned about buying gifts in October, but the return policy expiring before Christmas, many retailers have extended their return window until January. But be sure to check the store's return policy beforehand. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
Well, only on WRAL, sources close to the UNC football program are sharing new insights into what they call a divided locker room poorly managed by head coach Bill Belichick and his staff. Several sources claim the players recruited by Belichick are receiving preferential treatment, including better parking and stadium access on game days. In addition, Belichick recruited players have repeatedly missed classes and team workouts, but have not had their playing time affected. Parents tell us they cannot communicate with coaches and were asked not to approach Belichick. UNC Chancellor Lee Roberts and sources within the university are preaching patience when discussing Belichick, despite the team's 2-3 start. Time now for a look at what's trending.
Yeah, check out a series of new one-of-a-kind Barbie dolls inspired by 4 rugby players from across the globe. These are the Barbie dolls, including U.S. Olympic medalist Ilona Mayer. Mattel says the doll features a new muscular sculpt like Mayer and the other athletes.
And of course, Mayer represented the U.S. in the 2020 and most recently the 2024 Olympics, where she and her team won the bronze medal. The Ilona Mayer doll will be debuted sometime next year, and she's so active on social media.
Yes, she is. She's a lot of people look up to her, so that's awesome that she has a doll.
Yeah. Well, basketball season is just around the corner. This week, all men's and women's basketball teams from every ACC member school in Charlotte for the ACC tip-off. NC State women's basketball looking for redemption after losing to UNC in Chapel Hill last year. And, oh, by the way, losing to Duke in the ACC championship game. UNC had 4 seniors graduate this past season, and Coach Courtney Bankhart says they have 6 new faces. Duke is looking to build on their first ACC championship. 10 players are returning from last year. Coach Carol Lawson says this team will be her tallest and most athletic team yet. Watch our afternoon shows today and tomorrow as we hear from our men's teams as well.
It's going to be very exciting. All right, let's get back outside to meteorologist Elizabeth Carter out on the WRAL weather patio with a beautiful look of the gardens in the garden. I love this shot.
Isn't it great? Because, the screen here, you can't see past it. So when we put the garden in, and so this is what's right behind me. So, yeah, you get to sort of the double view here. But it is beautiful out here this morning. Just feeling great. 65 is our current temperature, our dew point 63. So it is warm, definitely. Not quite feeling like summer. And it's not going to quite feel like summer this afternoon, but it feels more like summer than fall, that's for sure. 85, our high this afternoon. We'll see increasing clouds ahead of our next front, but today stays dry. 66 in South Hill, 65 in Raleigh, 60 in Southern Pines. Starting to see those temperatures creep up a little bit, mostly low to mid 60s around the Triangle right now. 64 Apex, 62 in Garner and Knightdale, 62 up in Wake Forest. Around town, 85 in Raleigh and Durham, 88 in Fayetteville. So it's going to feel warm and a touch more muggy than it was yesterday. So is this normal? No, our temperature is way above normal today at 85. The average last 85-degree day comes sometime between October 7th and 13th. And of course, today is the 7th. So temperature change looking like this. Very warm. You can see the yellow and orange shaded areas. The cold front moves in tomorrow. That's going to bring us a good chance for rain. It may not be very heavy, but hey, every little bit that we can get will help. Behind that front, watch how the colors turn blue. That's an indication of below normal temperatures. 76 is our normal high, but we're going to go from 85 today to 69 on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So a big drop. If you're hoping to pull out your sweaters, it's coming very soon, that chilly air. In the meantime, we'll have that front that comes through that helps to bring us that cool air. We'll see rain starting around 11 or 12, lasting until around 4 or 5 o'clock, and some thunderstorms possibly embedded. 70% chance Wednesday. Thursday and Friday are dry, but we're watching Saturday and Sunday. We have a chance that we could see a coastal low develop, and that could bring us some rain Saturday and Sunday. It just depends on where it forms. It's a little bit too early since it hasn't formed yet to know where it's headed.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Before we go to break, here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers. We'll get another check on weather and traffic next.